Yup, Duck, it's time for the latest transfer news from across the Championship. West Ham break the Championship transfer record. Have we got signing of the summer at one Championship club? A busy couple of weeks coming up for Southampton. Derby sign a Championship stalwart, and bird is the word for Birmingham City. All that's to come on today's Transfer Roundup. We begin with a transfer which blew my mind when I saw it announced. Queen's Park Rangers have announced the signing of Dennis Cirkin on a free transfer. It's after the 24-year-old left-back was released by Sunderland. He played 36 times during their promotion campaign a couple of seasons ago and was arguably the standout left-back in the division that particular year. I thought he played regularly for Sunderland in the Premier League, but did find his chances limited after Sunderland signed Reynildo. So he needed to move. I thought he'd go to another Prem side, or at least a top-end Championship club. I was not expecting someone like QPR to come in for him. And I mean that with no disrespect to Rangers, because from my perspective, this is an unbelievable signing for them. Someone of his quality, who's still only 24, on a free transfer. Huh? That is signing of the summer. Simple as that for me. When I talk about someone of his quality being on a free transfer, that alone would be probably enough for signing of the summer. But the fact that he's only 24 just knocks it ahead of pretty much every other signing I've seen so far this season across the Championship. If he had 2 years left on his contract, right, and was playing regularly for another Championship club, you'd be looking at someone probably spending, 10 million on him, at least. Yet QPR have got him on a free. Zilch. Nada. Completely nothing. Well, there probably will be agent fees and what have you, but otherwise, transfer fee rise, nothing. A Premier League level left back who's still got his best years ahead of him. And I'm not exaggerating when I say Premier League level. I genuinely do believe that. In my eyes, and the eyes of many Sunderland fans actually, from what I've seen in their response to him making this move to QPR. The only reason why he hasn't played more in the Premier League for them is because of Reynildo, a former Atletico Madrid left back who has played several times in the Champions League. That's just how it goes. It's not through any fault of his own that Dennis Cirkin hasn't played more in the Prem. So, plain and simply, a mega impressive signing for QPR. Dennis Cirkin and Tariq Lamptey as their fullbacks, eh? Of course, a lot depends on Tariq Lamptey staying fit, which has been a big problem with him over the past few years. But for a Championship side, a mid-table Championship side at that, based off where they finished last season, that is an insane pairing at that level. And as far as Cirkin is concerned, do not be surprised if QPR sell him for a lot of money in the years to come, because he's an excellent left-back. And well, you could probably guess my feelings on that based off how much I've been waxing lyrical over him for the past few minutes, because his age and the fact they've got him on a free transfer, what a signing for QPR. Before we get into some more of the big transfer news, ladies and gents, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'm going to be providing commentary throughout the Championship season, reacting off the back of all the different game weeks, giving you my predictions and providing other videos here and there as the season progresses. You don't want to miss it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. You won't miss a single upload from myself, especially if you hit the notifications bell as well. Do both of them and you'll be absolutely golden. Derby County have signed Alex Mowatt from West Brom. The 31-year-old midfielder is believed to have cost the Rams around £600,000, having just had 1 year left on his contract. Very John Eustace signing this, someone entering the latter stages of his career, very experienced, but Eustace likes that kind of player, someone who's hardworking as well. And as a Derby fan, I'm pretty happy with it too. Yeah, sure, he's not at the peak of his powers anymore, and he's 31, but Alex Mowatt still has magic in that left foot of his. He is still a brilliant passer of the ball, can still score the occasional screamer, great at set pieces as well, and most importantly for Derby, fills a big gap in midfield. That number 8 role was really becoming a bit of a problem for Derby. So, yeah, I'm a fan of this signing. I think the original plan for them was to go out and get David Ozo back, but I think that was the plan up until the Saudi takeover collapsed, because when that happened, they just couldn't afford him anymore. So they had to scale things back a bit. And Mowatt is a very good alternative. I think Derby have been tracking him for a long time. He's been a long-time target under John Eustace. So it seems like he was always someone that they had in mind to fill that particular role. £600,000, can't complain about that. So yeah, tidy signing for the Rams. Please sign a fucking winger now. Birmingham City have signed a midfielder as well. They've got in Max Bird from Bristol City. The 25-year-old moves for an undisclosed fee, having had a year remaining on his contract at Ashton Gate. Yeah, I'm looking at this and starting to think I'm glad I didn't have Bristol City any higher in my 1 to 24 predictions now. I was umming and ahhing about whether I had been a bit harsh with them, but this is a big blow for them. Yeah, he was injured for a lot of last season, but he's such a brilliant player in midfield. And this does now mean that in the past 8 months, they've lost Anis Mehmeti, Zach Viner, Ross McCrory, Mark Sykes, and now Max Bird, possibly Jason Knight as well, according to the reports that I've been reading. So, yeah, that's quite an incredible loss of talent in such a short space of time for Bristol City. I would say they're now looking alarmingly short on midfielders. So, I mean, they were looking pretty short on midfielders last season anyway. So now they're looking even shorter after this. For Birmingham, though, it's a very smart signing for them. A very intelligent midfielder. Excellent at progressing the ball. Also very good out of possession. Exactly what they needed. Because I was always of the opinion that if Birmingham were going to improve on last season, they needed to strengthen in midfield. Iwata and Paik Sung-kyo are fine. Max Bird is an upgrade on the two of them, as far as I'm concerned. And if they do persist with Chris Davis as their manager, he will be someone, Max Bird, he will be someone who makes a big difference in them, not just going sideways and backwards all the time, because he's someone who likes to play the ball forwards first and foremost. As long as he stays fit, because that was an issue last season, he will be such a difference maker for Blues. I'm sure of that. But it's also got to be said, Birmingham has spent a lot of money in the past 12 months or so. However, Max Bird, undisclosed fee, don't know how much that would be, but considering he only had a year left on his contract at Bristol City, I can't imagine it was that much. He could end up being the best bit of business for them in this era that Birmingham are in right now, because in comparison to other players who have cost a lot of money, he's someone who can very subtly make a big difference, having cost very little. And he's still only 25 as well. So huge thumbs up for me with this signing for Blues. Let's go to West Ham, who are set to smash the Championship transfer record. They've agreed a fee of £22 million. 22 million simoleons, you say, for the Celtic midfielder Arne Engels. The 22-year-old Belgian has been a long-time target for the Hammers, and he's agreed a 5-year deal. Prior to this window, the transfer record in the Championship was £17 million. Now, Burnley technically broke that record earlier on in the summer when they signed Florentino Luis for £20 million. However, that never really sat right with me, because that was an obligation to buy after he was on loan there last season, and then Burnley ended up selling him in the same window for £16 million. Great business. But I'm now happy that this record looks like it is going to be rectified and corrected with someone who actually, properly fits the record signing quota, if you will. So all feels right in the world for someone like me who is obsessed with records and stats and that kind of thing. So that's good. Is Arne Engels worth the big fee that West Ham are splashing out on him, though? Not sure right now. The only reason I'm not sure is because I don't watch much Scottish football. But from what I've read about him and his underlying data, hard-working midfielder, very intelligent in and out of possession. The way I look at it is, if West Ham are spending that much money, they clearly think he's not just someone who can do the business for them this season, but also if they do get back to the Prem as well. As far as West Ham are concerned, midfield was looking like a bit of a problem position for them because, of course, they've already lost Mateus Fernandes this summer. Freddie Potts has gone as well. So they needed to strengthen there. And this is someone they've been tracking for a long old time. If they're spending that much money on him, clearly they think he's the perfect man for the job. So I'm excited to see how he gets on. But yeah, a championship club spending £22 million. My word. Genuinely won't be long before a championship club spends 30 million. We're on the right track for that being the case. But the spending in this league nowadays is completely and utterly insane. And kind of following on from that, I will say this. I've been looking at other people's predictions for the championship this past week. Everyone else has been doing their 1 to 24s, as have I. And I have been surprised at the number of people who have been trying to go against the grain in predicting West Ham to win the league. I can't get my head around it, to be honest. I know a lot of it is just probably people trying to be interesting, to go with something different and not be, completely original in just backing the heavy favourites to win the league this season. But when you look at the squad they have already got and the fact that they have the money to spend on players like Arne Engels, you've got to be brave to go against West Ham. And, they may not even be done yet when it comes to this transfer window and their heavy spending. They've been linked with the likes of Troy Parrott, haven't they? So I know it's not how much money you've got, it's how you spend it. But the level of spending, this level of spending for a championship club is completely and utterly unprecedented. And adding to a squad which is more or less Premier League quality anyway. So I look at something like this and it just really enforces my belief that West Ham are the team to beat this season. And finally, it's looking like it could be a very busy couple of weeks for Southampton. They've confirmed the departure of Shea Charles to Fulham. The midfielder's moved for £30 million. Taylor Harwood-Bellis has also been linked with a move away as well. The Sun say Benfica are considering an offer of £17 million for him. However, they have also made an addition. Divin Mubama has joined on loan. The 21-year-old striker spent last season at Stoke on loan from Man City. Mubama, he's an okay signing. He was decent at Stoke last season. Big, physical, number 9. Not the most prolific, it's got to be said, but he's only young. So I imagine he'll be a squad player, mainly for Saints. Wouldn't completely surprised me if he did spring to life this season, but not massive expectations, but he's someone who helps pad out the squad, I guess. I think the most interesting thing with Saints will be who's still going to be at the club by the end of this window, because you look at Shea Charles, it's always looking likely he was going to go. 30 million for him is great business, I'll make that very clear. But Harwood-Bellis looks like he may go. There's a few clubs looking at him, not just Benfica by the sounds of it. I don't think Southampton are going to let him go for 17 million. I'll make that very clear. Surely they're looking at more for him. Leo Cienza, Casper Yanda also linked with moves away. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting couple of weeks for Saints. It's arguably more interesting there than it is for any other championship club in terms of who else is going to be heading out the door, because I think that could be a really big factor in how Saints get on this season, who stays and who goes in the coming weeks. So yeah, definitely one to monitor. It'll also be interesting to see who else comes in, if anyone. But there we have it, ladies and gents. This has been the latest transfer news from across the championship. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below on any of the stories which I've spoken about today. If you've enjoyed this video, please make sure you give it a like and subscribe for more championship related content just like this. The new championship season is here, ladies and gents. I'll be providing my reaction to the weekend's action on Sunday evening, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Otherwise, I've been Ryan Dilks. Big thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again very, very soon.